was an ugly, disgusting gamer who always played games instead of paying attention to his class one day. While heading home, he spots a girl from his school who is about to be hit by a truck. But he saves her life by pushing her to the other side and getting hit instead. The next moment, a goddess named Aqua informs him that he passed away. He asks her about the girl, and the goddess tells him that she is fine, which causes Kazuma to realize that his death was not in vain. However, the goddess makes fun of him by revealing that his death was not because of the truck, but because of shock, as he believed that he was about to be hit by people for fun. Kazuma doesn't like this idea and believes he will be killed there too. However, the goddess reveals that she will grant him one wish, and this can be anything, including a powerful weapon or a tremendous talent. Kazuma hears this and picks Aqua to go along with him, believing that her powers will come in handy for him in another world. Aqua doesn't like this and tells him to take back his wish. But the goddess of light comes in and accepts his wish before telling him that it has to defeat the Devil King. Otherwise, Aqua will not return to this world as a goddess. She also tells him that if he is able to defeat the Devil King, she will fulfill his desire, which is a gift from the god in the new world. He defeats some of the demon lord generals who threaten to destroy the peace of his bedroom. It's all a dream. Then Kazuma wakes up and heads to near window. He tries to act like a cool dude, but his companions make fun of him, then head to the Adventurer Guild, where they are about to receive a grand prize for saving the Crimson Demon Village from the Devil King's generals. Aqua calls for celebration and tells the lady of the Adventure Guild to bring as much wine as she can because they want to celebrate their success with all the adventurers. However, to their shock, Zuma gets mad and leaves the room. The girls follow him and ask him about it. At first, he hesitates to tell them, but then reveals that he wants to become a monk. He explains that had some chances that he will change his job as an adventurer and become a monk. Aqua tries to change his mind with some words of wisdom, but it adds more fuel to fire and makes Kazuma more angry, who gets up and runs away from the Adventure Guild. But he takes a map of the monk city from La Latina, and before leaving the Adventurers Guild, he informs her that he has a huge crush on her and he wants to clap her so many times with this. He heads towards the monk city and his companions also join him on the way. Megumin has a flashback to her past where she used her explosion magic for the first time. She says Kazuma was the only one who appreciated her magic, and she believes he is the kindest man alive. Just then, Kazuma argues with Aqua and makes fun of her by saying that despite being a goddess, she does not have the power to destroy this mountain. Megumin tries to stop them, but Kazuma also makes fun of her. Hearing this, Megumin gets angry and quickly destroys the mountain with her explosion magic. But she didn't realize this was the mountain where they were about to sleep at night. The girls appoint Kazuma to look after them, saying that he has greater enemy protection sense, and the foresight for Zuma doesn't mind this. She reveals that the explosion in magic she showed him has only a score of 120 points, which is great for a magic user, but she will surpass her limits. Kazuma thanks her for always sticking with him and helping him in his adventures. He believes the moments he spent with him were the best of all, and decides to withdraw his decision to become a monk. Megumin appreciates his decision and wishes that things between them could stay the way they are, as she wants to spend this beautiful life with him. Just then, Megumin puts her hand in Kazuma's hand, and Kazuma believes she is about to make a move on him. Kazuma thinks his dreams of losing his virginity and becoming a man are coming true, and decides to kiss Megumin. But to a shock, Megumin goes to sleep the next day as they headed to their new destination. They spotted an elf girl on the way who was very badly injured. Aqua tries to help her with her healing magic, but Kazuma stops her and reveals that this girl is a monster in disguise. He explains that they're called Tranquility Girls, a dangerous type of creature that evokes an intense protective instinct in passing travelers and maintaining a reassuring smile or cute cry, and then suck out their essence by trapping them into their rooms. He ends the revelation with a statement that the more good-natured a traveler is, the greater the threat this monster poses. However, despite all this, all the girls fall for her innocent look, and even Aqua begins shielding her with her magic. Seeing this, Kazuma takes out his sword and tries to kill her. The girls get into his face and declare that they will not let him harm her. Seeing this, the girl gives him an innocent, sad look and tells him to put his blade on her neck as she is tired of being called a monster. She explains that she poses a threat of humans and is not worthy of staying alive, but she is glad that in her final moments, she got to talk to kind humans like them. She ends her statement by saying that if she is ever reborn again, she wishes not to become a monster. Hearing this, Kazuma can't believe how kind this girl is. He spares her life and then heads to his next on the way. He believes that the girl hasn't claimed any victims yet, but he remembers something and decides to head back. Kazuma says he will tell her not to hurt the travelers who cross this mountain path, which leads to the temple of the monk. However, he gets shocked after seeing that the girl has already devoured a traveler, and she was acting all this time just to gain their favor with this. He takes out his sword and quickly finishes her. He then picks up the wallet of the traveler and heads back to his companions. Aqua looks at the wallet and believes that she has seen it somewhere in the town. She tells Kazuma to give to her, but Kazuma declines and they begin arguing with each other. Just then, gold coins begin coming out of the wallet, and the adventurer party believes this is some magic wallet, and they have hit a jackpot. With this, they head back home, and on the way, a girl named Chris greets him, and the party invites her to the Adventurers Guild so that she can celebrate the return of Kazuma with them too. However, Chris turns down their invitation and leaves the area. After that, Megaman tells Kazuma to buy a rod for himself, and he quickly agrees, but gets shocked after realizing that someone has stolen his magic wallet. With this, he reaches home and vows that he will not leave again, believing that loser like him does not deserve happiness in this world. Just then, someone knocks on their door and the group believes it must be some enemy. Aqua and Kazuma attack him and try to finish him off, but Latina knocks them out with punches and reveals that he is her butler, Hagen. Hagen gives her a royal letter and Latina gets shocked after seeing Kazuma asks her about it, but she hesitates to reveal it. Hearing this, Kazuma gets mad and knocks her. Kazuma then opens the letter and, reading it, reveals that the first princess, Iris, has invited him to a dinner because she wants to hear his heroic tales personally of defeating many of the Devil King's generals. Latina tries to stop him and reveals that if something goes wrong, he will be killed at the hands of the first princess. But Aqua, Megaman, and Kazuma decide to head to the royal capital, and the one invited them was first Princess Iris, so one wrong move and their head could cut down, so Darkness wore the maid dress as a punishment for hiding. But she was still insisting on ditching the idea of having dinner with Princess, but Kazuma doesn't want to hear anything else. Then yes, master, that made her weird side run wild as she likes to get torture, but for the business at hand, they goes out to finish a trade. Before the princess gets here, they goes to Liz's shop and saw the final product, lighters. So in this era, lighters were sure to be hit, and Megaman and Darkness took one each for themselves, so their Aqua gets there to snatch one as well, but Kazuma prevented from taking it. He wants Aqua to pay because Megaman helped to make lighters and Darkness introduced Kazuma to a trar while Aqua was sold out with her alcohol. He wants Aqua to earn her keep and tells her to bring in customers and do publicity. Aqua got sad and revealed that she was keeping Kazuma's secret, that he sniffs their clothes like a degenerate and goes off, but instead of publicity she was pulling out party tricks and the public were throwing money to keep the show going, so Voner got pissed off that Aqua is interfering on the launch day of their new products. She's a numbskull, so Liz got out and told others about lighters, so the sale started to bomb out, which makes Voner happy, but he still reminds him of the 300 million, but it will take a while, and Darkness was holding on to Aqua to stop her party tricks, and then Kazuma was all set to make an impression on Princess Iris. But the ladies weren't as promising yet. Darkness looked far gorgeous on this day and took the girls for a makeover, but the dress was too loose for Aqua. But not as loose as Megaman's. Darkness was sure she picked her childhood dress, and Megan attacks Darkness because of cruelty of life, but finally they found a perfect dress for both the girls, and Kazuma told them he would have to leave if Princess wants him by his side. So be prepared for goodbye delusion 100%, cause Z was mesmerized by the normal lowly princess in front of him, and their Aqua introduced herself with etiquette, but again showed her color, so Darkness stopped her in time before she pulls a party trick, and their Megaman also gets into it. That made their first impression a lasting impression. Their Iris tells Kazuma to look down, because he is a commoner and cannot look at royalty, but her orders Kazuma called Princess out with head held high, He thought like, wow, nice princess, elegant behavior, and would ask curiously about their adventure, but all of it was of imagination, and their Aqua puts together a sand sketch and Iris liked it very much, so she asked for them to start the dinner. Their princess was curious about how Kazuma beat their hero Mitsuji. So Kazuma put together a nonsense story to make them believe. Iris got excited, and her escort conveys her words that they heard about Kazuma from the rumors, and his power. Kazuma was acting like a big shot, so Iris was wondering what kind of job he did before becoming an adventurer. Kazuma instantly thought of a story that he defended his home and honed his skill, and there was a demand that Kazuma makes a contract. But it was a simple white lie. It was hard to believe story, so Claire wants to check out Kazuma's adventurer card. It was sure to spill the beans of his powers. He had the lick skill, which was sure to get him into trouble if they saw it. But showing his card means showing their trump cards, so Megan signals Aqua to pull a party trick to distract them. But she's drunk. Claire comes out and assures them their secret will be safe, so Darkness told them Kazuma is the weakest in his class, so he's embarrassed to show his skills. Hearing this, they doubt if Kazuma really beat Mitsuji. But Kazuma can't tell how he used steel to beat Mitsu, so Iris didn't believe that Kazuma could beat their hero, so she thought Kazuma was lying. She finds Mitsuji very handsome, so she can't believe he would lose now. That was a pure insult, so Claw picked her sword to punish Kazuma for raising his voice. But their Darkness asked for forgiveness and asked to overlook it. Seeing her, Iris lets it slide and wanted to hear their story of adventure. But she orders to kick Kazuma out of here, because he's lying. At least Kazuma got out with his life. But Megumin didn't like her insulting Kazuma. She looked like she could use her magic. But she didn't because it would cause problems for Darkness. Looking at her, Darkness asked Iris to apologize to Kazuma, because Kazuma never lies about anything. Iris still couldn't accept it, so Darkness had to slap her out. She was willing to pay the price, but she advised Iris to never behave and laugh at anyone's achievement. She's like a big sister to her, so Kazuma agreed to show them his way. But Iris doesn't care anymore, so Darkness steps aside from there on, and Kazuma made up his mind to show how he beat Mitsuji. He used the steel from the start on Claw. But he didn't get the sword, but instead he steals panties. Well, that was enough to make them believe, and Claw even apologized for doubting them. But their Iris wanted to say something, and Rain tells her to speak up herself because Kazuma won't go hard on her, so Iris comes forward and apologized. She wished to hear more about their adventure, and Kazuma was glad to hear that. And now the time comes to part ways, but Iris snatches Kazuma and brings him to the capital. She can't hear his story if they're apart, so that's so what madness will happen at the royal castle.
So Kazuma was staying as a guest in the royal castle, telling Iris about how he had seen Darkness in her towel for some reason. He was sure Darkness was about to say something at that time. Iris wanted to hear more, but Claire jumped in at Kazuma because of this stupid perverted story. Yet Iris was eager to hear more, but Claire formally stopped Kazuma and told him not to tell this kind of story. Iris apologized because she wished to know more, so Kazuma saw the situation and replaced his story with a bet he won against Darkness, making her do something crazy. Iris was all ears, but Claire was not, and she failed to stop them this time. So what happened exactly was that Kazuma was brought here suddenly, and he thought it was clearly kidnapping. However, Rain told him that they welcomed him as a guest, so it couldn't be kidnapping. Princess Iris, who's always obedient, acted like this for the first time, so Rain asked Kazuma to entertain her for a bit because she rarely made a demand for herself. Seeing that, Iris said she just wanted a few days to listen to adventuring stories. That was a cute request from a lonely girl, so Kazuma accepted it, and that's how things ended up here. She was interested in many things such as the school festival, so Kazuma told her to open a school if she liked it. But then the Devil King's army tried to invade the capital, and the situation became clear why Iris couldn't ask for her own wishes. After the demon invaders were subdued, Iris told Kazuma he could go back now, given the situation in the capital. That's true. Kazuma is not an overpowered hero, and besides, those goofballs should be worried about him. So he chose to return, but Iris wished to listen more about his adventuring stories, and Kazuma promised to tell her the next time they met. Kazuma being this sweet reminded her of her own older brother, so she wanted Kazuma to stay for a bit longer. However, Iris knew she couldn't make selfish requests, so Kazuma got his hopes up because Iris compared him to her elder brother. His fetish kicked in at this moment, and he told Iris to call him brother. Iris did it in her princess way and he changed his mind. So the next morning started with his idiotic cycle that kicks in every now and then. He ordered coffee and let the maid prepare his bed sheets. There Iris came to call him, but in his happiness, he forgot that the maid had just left. Iris got so embarrassed seeing that and stopped calling him brother. He tried to justify it as a misunderstanding, but she ran off. She never called him brother again, yet they became playmates soon. Kazuma occasionally disturbed her in the middle of her class, and after that, Iris came to play a chess match. Kazuma noticed she was embarrassed to make a request and understood what Rain said was true. Iris never makes a request in fear of how it would affect others. So, Kazuma made up his mind not to lose. They quickly finished a match, or maybe many of them. Yet Kazuma never won a single round. He didn't want to give up until he won, which made Iris step up her game. Finally, at night he won somehow, so he gave that bamboo copter to Iris. Happiness could be seen on her face, so Kazuma wanted to go outside to play, but Iris wasn't allowed to leave the castle without any escorts. That was a letdown. Then the next morning, with daily royal treatment, he was waiting for the maid to come and replace the sheet. Kazuma was planning to make her job difficult like other nobles, so he was about to welcome her with all the crazy ideas. But bingo, he screwed up. Darkness asked what should be collected, but it was too obvious that he couldn't complete the sentence. So he asked why they showed up, and Darkness told him they were worried sick, and Megumin didn't even have a good night's sleep. But Kazuma thinks he got a job as an entertainer here. Then Iris came in and heard everything. Darkness said that Kazuma has many people who are worried about him, so he must leave. Kazuma was hoping Iris would ask him to stay a bit longer, but Iris agreed with Darkness to let Kazuma go. She even prepared a goodbye banquet for Kazuma where freeloaders were munching down on free food while Darkness was surrounded by suitors. That the ugly mug Alder showed up again because Darkness already had a perfect future partner in his eyes. He's the guy who got into a crossfire when Kazuma sent an explosive core to his mansion. Besides, he thinks Prince Jedis, who's fighting the Devil King's army, is perfect for her. Now that the prince came into the picture, everyone backed off, but Darkness clearly didn't like being paired up with the prince. So Kazuma spoke up that he got cheated on because they had an affair, and Darkness even called him master in their action. So Darkness stopped Kazuma from speaking further and twisted his arm to stop him. Kazuma played the villain again, but at least Darkness would be out of marriage talks. But more importantly, it was a goodbye party, yet no one knew the main person there. Iris came in, and his mood changed in an instant. Inside the hall, Aqua was up with her stupid party tricks again. Anyways, Iris said she would feel lonely after he leaves because all the ruckus Kazuma made was so much fun. She was so fascinated because Kazuma was the only one who ever talked rudely to her and acted like a kid. She was just too cute and envied Darkness because she got to enjoy her time with Kazuma like this every day. Kazuma knew after he leaves, Iris would be a sheltered bird again. There Iris wished to be an adventurer because royals are born with nice magic powers, or maybe she thought she could become a thief. A noble thief that helps the poor and targets evil nobles. Recently, there was a thief just like this who stole from rich, evil nobles and donated it to the poor and orphanages. So Kazuma got a reason to stay here and ran into the hall where he announced that he would catch this noble thief. Hearing this, all those corrupt nobles started to support Kazuma, but he was planning to laze around in the castle. Claire ordered that Kazuma stay at the residence of the likely targets and told the nobles to cooperate. The first in line was the ugly mug Alder. Way to go. Kazuma got the blessings from the goddess of unluck. Unfortunately, that's where the episode ends. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment your opinion for the next video. In the meantime, check out our other videos.